Cheers and enjoy the beers. Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome wherever you are in the world once again back to the channel with me, a Disco, coming at you with another set of live beer reviews from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar, what I'm still jokingly referring to as the Disco Arms. And yes, it's Burns night. I'm not going to do any of that. Well, try not to do any of those dodgy Scottish accents, no bagpipes, haven't even got any scran, so I won't be doing any chief pudding on a Swansea race and all that, and eating haggis because I never got it sorted out, as I would have been tempted to, since the other day I did Welsh, and I did a bit of Welsh food, such as it was, albeit made in London. So yeah, nothing like that. I'm just aware, as you know, I like a good theme, and it is indeed Burns night tonight. Kind of Scottish thing, obviously. Robbie Burns being foremost Scottish poet, and they like to celebrate, well, anything really, I suppose, in Scotland. Any excuse for a drink, I guess, which is fine by me. All up for that, as you know. So being at any one time, I usually have a few Scottish drinks in here and there, and it's no exception. Probably slightly too much on the Vault City, if I'm honest. So anyway, managed to squeeze in 3 different Scottish breweries today. Welcome along, everybody. Thanks for popping in. As always, Mr. Wilson. Yeah, no problem. We'll be away in a bit. And once again, me and Hawks Henry has popped in earlier on in the evening to wish everyone a happy Burns night, as I'm doing now. I actually realised it was Burns night. To be fair, I only realised on Friday. I think it was Friday when I was on or listening to Sammy's stream, and he was talking about Australia Day, which was tomorrow night. And I was talking to him the other day about getting some Australian beers, and I've not done that either. But easy to cobble together some Scottish beers, pretty much, out of the stash. So that's what I've done. But yeah, no haggis today. In fact, not that much Scottish, really. I think I'm okay to do this because I do have some Scottish ancestry, some Scottish heritage, so I'm allowed to do it. Well, in my opinion, same as I did last week with Wales. That was just pure random. Yeah, but I've also got no poetry lined up. I'm not sure anybody would want to listen to me reciting the poetry. It's, as always, on this channel, all about the beer. And to that end, let's dive straight in, as we always do, or stumble in, as it were, to beer number 1 now, please. And beer number 1 is this little can of madness from Edinburgh, from the modern sour beer experts that are Vault City. I think Portcullis is easily identifiable for those that know anyway. And this one is, let's have the banner up. It's called Wee Buckie. They describe it as a 4.5% Blackberry Sesh starter. We'll get into what on earth that is at the moment, but being it's a starter, I thought I'd start with that one, obviously. So, obviously, Buckie is a reference to Buckfast. More about that later. Let's get this into a glass and find out. Slightly damaged glass can, I've just noticed. Let's see if it's going to be. I know it behaves perfectly fine. I'm assuming bright red. I haven't seen too many of these about, but yes, here we go. Kind of purple. Blackberry note obviously coming through. Looks good. Fairly gloopy in the glass. Let's do the pick. Managed to get up to date with all the picks on his Instagram, including the ones that I did with cider yesterday. So bear with. Nice to get a good can balance straight off on the first one. Too bad on the lighting there. Sits fairly well. No, it doesn't. Oh, there we go. Not too bad. Yeah, so there we go. So, yeah, do let me know if you're doing anything for Burns night, or is it, like me, just a good excuse to drink some Scottish beer? And, I mean, for me, Vault City are probably the least Scottish brewery in a way. Scottish beers, anyway. But then, I suppose something like this is fairly mid-strength. I'm also not doing any whiskey, mainly because I don't know anything about whiskey, Scottish or otherwise. So I probably have got some Scottish whiskey somewhere about this house, but it ain't mine. So yeah, I'm not really doing any Scottish whiskey either, which would be nice, wouldn't it? But anyway, into the glass with the Wee Buckie. So a nice kind of purpley red colour, given it says Blackberry on the can. I'm guessing Buckfast is a blackberry based tonic wine, isn't it? So I'm stalling a little bit, it feels like, but I'm keen to get into this. Blackberry, I love blackberries in beer. It can be funny, kind of, it can go a bit too tart. Obviously, see how tart this is from Vault City. They are usually, with that modern sour beer, potential to go a bit too mouth puckering, but I still do seem to have quite a lot of their beers because they all look fantastic. And yeah, I like the colour. It's a kind of murky brown, very murky red, maroon kind of colour, but good head development, and it's sticking around a little bit as well. It did fair bubble into the glass. Nice fruit note on the aroma. A little bit of pastry as well. Anyway, cheers, or slauncher, as they might say here in Scotland. That's about as much Scottish as I think I'll probably do tonight, unless you want more. Cheers. Oh, that's just class Vault City. That is kind of medium to thick voluptuousness on the body. Lots of kind of pulpy kind of blackberry, not knocking around. Not too sharp, but it's got that slightly raspy edges that some sours have. I say there's a kind of, feels like a blackberry crumble. I suspect, again, I'm a little bit suspicious sometimes in Vault City, whether they just either keep the base recipe and just tweak the flavors, because if they put this it's very similar to that what's that winter crumble that's in supermarkets, and I had that last year, and I think the base is the same, and it's just a slight different variation in the adjuncts. But the adjuncts are pretty good here. Plenty of like sweetness balanced in amongst that kind of quite peak tartness. It feels like there's a bit of ice cream as well. It's not an ice cream sour as such, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of vanilla in there to get up to kind of pastry sour strength, even though it's only 4.5%. It is without doubt a very good starter. It's a dessert beer, very much so. Yeah, it's nice, some nice blackberry crumble and custard. That'll go proper bow with that. I gotta admit, I don't remember Buckfast. I do, obviously, but I don't remember drinking it. I've been to Buckfastleigh Abbey where it's produced, and this is the weird thing. It's not even a Scottish beverage. It's produced in Devon, Buckfastleigh Abbey, by the monks, abbots there, and somehow has gained this kind of cult status. I think off of the 80s or something like that in Scotland, that it's somehow now almost a Scottish national drink. I think just because of the strength of Buckfast. I don't think it's particularly cheap, but they did as full. Oh, okay, right. So yeah, this is just like a wee session one, 4.5%. I must have seen a full version. I don't think I ever picked it up though. I have been trying to pick up less Vault City here and there. Certainly cans anyway. Not vociferously like I avoid Verdant or any of those other kind of mainstream hype beers, particularly Putty this weekend. I was going to do a little post, Mark safe from bothering about Putty. I know Mr. Wilson had the Putty, no doubt loved it. Oh, the full one was 10.5%. So yeah, I don't actually know. I can't. I went to the Abbey, so I know I have had Buckfast way before I was doing any like reviews of it. Not even sure I want to do a review of Buckfast, being it's a tonic wine, not a beer. But then we know you have some kind of mix of it. I mean, I probably should have gone and sourced a bottle or something, and do you know what I mean? But where would you find one around here? I'll tell you where. Pat's off license. So of course I picked up a bottle of Buckfast, right? Of course I did. I didn't want a massive, great big 750 bottle, but I got a drink responsibly notice on the back. What? Red wine based aperitif, 99.28%. It doesn't say ABV, but I don't know what that means. High caffeine content. Oh, hey, let's have that before bedtime then. Oh, 15% it is. Tree Chandler and Co. Buckfast. Oh, hello. Made by the Benedictine monks at Buckfast Abbey in Devon, but it also says bottled by J. Chandler and Co. Andover. So, just round the corner from Trilby Phil. He's down in Andover. Yeah, so made by the monks. So, now I paid 12 quid for that, like a dickhead. But I thought it was necessary, really. I just wanted to find out. I don't think I'll do a review of it, but I'll have a wee dram in a minute, eh? Because this for me is just kind of a Blackberry cobbler kind of sour. The Vault City do. I'm not sure whether it's giving off. It's not clicking any switches for what I must have had Buckfast back in the day and see what it tasted like. The putty was okay. That's about as much as I could say of it as well. This is a black grape Buckie. I didn't enjoy them. Okay. Yeah, I will kind of look out probably for the other ones if they do them again. I think, yeah, just get overawed a bit about with Vault City at some points. You like Buckfast. If you're doing full Scottish today, you need to drink in one go. Not 750 ml. It was bad enough. Bad enough doing 750 mils of cider yesterday. I didn't mean to. I shared it out a little bit, but still sort of got through it. And that was 2 750 bottles. So no, I won't be drinking full 750, but it's got a screw cap. So maybe I don't know when else I'm going to drink the rest of it. And on a Sunday night, I've not really got many other people to share it. Oh, I should have put that in the thing, shouldn't I? Shame it's got a bit of a. Oh no, it is yeah. Right. Yes, I'm not doing it in one go, but heck, why not? I've got it. Let's have a wee dram, huh? Why not? If you've got it in, you've got to give it a go, right enough, huh? And I said I wasn't going to do any of that, but once I start talking about Scotland, so I mean, this is probably not an appropriate thing, but I'm gonna have a wee dram of it, right? Probably should have had a bigger glass than that, but I'm gonna have a wee sip first of all, just for comparative purposes, to see just how close it is. Now you can have a go at me if you like for doing that, but it's a Sunday night. Have it over a few will it go okay with food? Yeah, if it's a red wine, I mean, I don't really drink wine that much, but if I'm gonna, I probably would have a red. I don't know, nice Rioja or something, but that's about as much as I know about wine. To be fair, even the stuff we serve on the bar, I don't know much about. But yeah, I'm not going to do it as a beer review. I mean, I probably should knock that back, but staunch. Oh, hello. Okay, I can see why that is so popular. Yeah, so flavors are totally different, kind of. It's somewhere between what I imagine a jolly good red wine is, quality red wine, and cough mixture. But it's got that nice, really smooth kind of body to it. A bit like that. But that's kind of where the similarity kind of ends for me. Bit more of a dry edge, nice sweetness, slightly earthy bitterness on the edge of it on the back end. But yeah, there's a touch of cough mixture going on there. I don't know. Yeah, there is a kind of. It's more generic kind of bramble. There's a place I used to go on the way back for the West Country in Cheddar Gorge, and they used to do a bramble brandy, and I've still got a bottle of that in the cupboard, and that's about 30 years old now. So I might have to break that out at some point and try it. Because that was really nice, and it's very kind of similar to this. This is more of a kind of sort of generic bramble kind of hedgerow kind of note. Bloody nice. But yeah, you're right. At 15%, it's a bit more, isn't it? I could be in trouble here. Not got to go to work in the morning. I've got to clip that and go for a full light pop one, haven't I? What would I rather be drinking? Oh, do you know what I've just done? I've just gone. My head, right? My head has just gone, bomb it. And I'm like, yeah, I could see why that is. I like to say back in the day, like 30 years ago, we used to always, if we could, stop at Cheddar on the way back off the M5 and pick up some more bottles of Bramble brandy. I don't think the company even exists now. We also used to like cherry brandy and like cherry liqueur a lot, and that's kind of got that similar drinkability, and I can see why it is. Yeah, you could, and it's also dangerously drinkable because there's no 15% about it. Not like you get some kind of like barrel aged impy stout and you know it's 15%. Vault City, the prime candidate. But yeah, a big juicy steak, maybe a little bit of kind of spicy or chili sauce or even peppery sauce. Yeah, you could just use that as a wine, couldn't you? But yeah, somewhere between a high quality red wine and cough mixture, a good high quality cough mixture, mind you. Never know why they used to make cough mixture so disgusting. Make it drinkable, wouldn't it? That's nice. Yeah. No, the strength is there a little bit more now. If I lose the power of speech later, I'm not going to have one of these with all of them. But yeah, I could do, couldn't I? Proper mixing my drinks. Maybe I'll do a little standalone review of that afterwards to see what it's like. I'm pressure short of getting videos out here, to be fair, but might have a couple of videos coming out in a week if I can finally finish the edits. After a lot of cutting out of me going, but there you go. We'll get there. Hopefully, two videos, hopefully coming out this week. Out and about as well, which is fine. Did a lot of out and about stuff yesterday. I mean, I say out and about, I'm only up the farm, but it kind of feels like out and about because it's a nice, safe, comfortable place to do a video, even though it's in public. If you sip it, you realise I'd put the bottle away before it gets messy. Yeah, it could. It really could. I think sipping it, certainly shotting it, would be very dangerous. And I'm taking fairly big sips, even though it's in a shot glass. Yeah, nice though. Goes really well with this one. Really does. It's a sort of yin and yang to it. It's got a obviously stronger edge to it. Like I say, that slightly earthy bitterness to it. A kind of more generic, slightly bramble note. And you know what I've just thought of, don't you? You know, I'm not banging it all in there. Don't tell me when you saw this. It's just because I'm curious. This is for educational purposes, you understand. Save you having to do it. What's a cuvee of Buckfast and Wee Buckie? Slauncher. Oh, that's like the best of both worlds. The strength of the Buckfast and the sweet, beautiful blackberry note of that Wee Buckie from Vault City. Yeah, that is a bit dangerous, isn't it? A wee bit dangerous there. Mind you, so is this one. You know, I think, yeah, just a wee tincture of Buckfast takes a slightly sour edge off of this. Which, I mean, some people love the sour edge. I don't mind it in this one. It's not like massively sour, but it is going big. Well, there you go. I'm glad you were there to witness that, Mr. Wilson. It can only go well from here, can't it? I did manage to behave myself. I only had a swift half at work this afternoon on the way home after work. Although I did have a wee slug of rum to finish off the mulled apple juice that we do, because that's nice. It has got lactose in it. It was the first thing I saw. Whoa, hello. Right, obviously the usual stuff. Malted barley and oats. Oats is good, obviously. Blackberry, lactose, caffeine powder. I mean, aside from the fact that it's got a slight sort of energy drink note about it, more in that massive kind of vitamin C hit thing rather than actual any noticeable caffeine. That's interesting. They put that in there. Is that to simulate whatever the caffeinated stuff in that is? I don't know. Haven't had this one around too long, but just for thingy purposes. I can't remember when I picked this up. 23rd of the 4th, 2027. Oh, here we go. A bit more blurb on the back. A tribute to a true cultural icon, Wee Buckie is a sessionable take on the legendary Hoose juice. So they call it. Packed with tangy... Oh, it started already. Packed with tangy Buckie vibes, caffeine, and juicy blackberries. This Sesh sour delivers familiar flavours of the sweet, dark stewed fruits and subtle notes of cough syrup. I said that. I tell you, I hadn't read it, honestly, I promise you. But if they're saying that, then I'm all right. I'm not far wrong. Tart, vibrant, and refreshingly smooth, balanced with a deep berry richness. They've got a sour scale of 1 to 5 here, and they say this is number 2 on the sour scale. I kind of agree with all that. That makes a lot of sense from them, to be fair. I saw nothing. Stick around, you might see it again. Yeah. I don't know. I was going to say, I'm going to put this aside now, I think, and see if I can get a standalone video out of it with the Buckfast. I'm not sure that's a good idea. It might not work because I've got 2 other beers to do. Let's do the other 2 beers because I won't be able to clip this in any way. I don't think. Yeah, but that's a good one. That's a hit with me. Would I drink it again? I probably, if I could. Probably won't ever get around to buying a can of it again, but I will try the other variants if I see them again, I think. Yeah, would I drink that again? I fucking know it would. I've got 750 mils to get through. See, don't let me do that. Don't let me do my dodgy Scottish accents because I'm quite good at Scottish accents. The only problem is I'm not sure what part of Scotland my accent's coming from at any one time. I kind of go a little bit north, south, east and west with it, from Sauchiehall Street to Edinburgh to Stirling and Dundee quite often. And sometimes all a bit Highlands and Highlands. And it's not any good. Right. And that was really good. A really good start. I quite like that one. Let's go on briefly to something, well, kind of just as fun, really. In beer number 2, please. And beer number 2, just as fun and iconic. Yes. The iconic overtones of orange and blue. On a can it says Iron Brew. This one is from Fierce Brew Co. up in Aberdeen. And I know there's a multitude of iron brews. I have got another one, but it's not from a Scottish brewery. So this can has been sitting in my stash in the fridge for a little bit too long. I think I got it prior to last summer, and I've never quite found a way of fitting it in with anything. And in fact, I believe I had a pint of this when I picked up this can up at Creative Juices in Rickmansworth, Paul's Beer Reviews brewery, and I really enjoyed. I might only have had a swift half of it. It was weird, so I picked the can up. I'm not even sure what it is. It describes itself as a beer cooler, and in the summer that was totally right and fine. So yeah, let's get into glass, see what we get. Again, I have sort of more recent memories of this one, like I say, having had a half or a pint of it up at Paul's. So as expected, it goes into the glass, and this is kind of how I remember it. Quite a pale orange colour. I expect it to maybe a bit more orange. So we're going to see what the fruit vibes of this one is. But yeah, again, quite bubbly, bubbling into the can. As Mr. Wilson reminds me. Photo and balance. Yeah, nice. I mean, it looks great. It definitely looks the part. That kind of pale orange colour. Do you know what? Why the heck did I not get a can of Iron Brew in the off license whilst I was getting the buck fast? Because I'm an idiot and don't think about these things. But hey ho, what can you do? Never mind. I mean, I don't think I really need that comparison because I know what Iron Brew tastes like. It looks like. I mean, Iron Brew looks definitely more orange than that, I would say. That's come out nice. Yeah, that looks about right. Excuse me, whilst I go over here. No kids go tonight. She would like to send her apologies from absence, but it was quite warm out there, despite the kind of winter things from today. But yeah, I thought it was best she sat outside with kind of bottles knocking around. I didn't want to jump in on stuff. Not had that. Okay, fave so far. Yeah, the XL one. Who I often forget is still going, and I definitely have had the XL one over in East London back in the day. I'm sure as early as 2020. But yeah, this one I remember liking it when I had the half it. So let's see what we get here for this one. My nose. As soon as I press live, the old nose just went more. It's fine when I got it. Oh, it's just. There's an aroma of chewy sweets. Oh, wait a minute. Talking of sweets, have I got. Bear with me just a wee sec. Let me just check. Shite, man. What I thought was, well, maybe I own a fair bit from Trembler Madness, and they always put some sweets in. I don't know why. I think I'd rather cheaper beers, to be honest. But yeah, I thought I had an Iron Brew one, but no, it was Vimto and Tango. But here we go. Anyway, yeah, Iron Brew, fair bit of carbonation racing up that glass. I mean, I think in this bit, carbonation racing doesn't matter too much. Let's have a quick. I'm going to read the can first because I want to get to the bottom of what this beer actually is. I can't remember how Paul described it. So it says sparkling alcoholic Iron Brew with a twist. Our beer coolers are specially brewed to be as light and refreshing as possible before we layer in the flavour. Well, it's 4.5%, so Oh, here we go. Yeah, they did a set. So they did an iced tea and a fierce cola and a fierce lemonade. Didn't really see the other two about that much. It's a fierce spirit Aberdeen. Not much on the ingredients. The gluten dropout, so I've got gluten removed. Yeah. Yep, doesn't say anything else about what those additives are. 4th of February 2026. I did say it's been sitting in there a fair while. And obviously it's going to be quite light. So, but look, but cheers. Slauncher. Do you know what? If you'd poured me a can of Iron Brew and given me that and done the switcheroo, I'm not entirely sure I would have noticed because it is really light. Maybe just because I'm coming off the Buckfast, there's not that much notice of alcohol in that. It's really like an alcohol pop. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. It's still clearly a beer. But yeah, it's tangy sweets. It's not a sour by any means, but it's tangy sweets. It's got that kind of slight pop of sherbet about it. It's definitely got that kind of chewy sweet thing. And I'm sure they do an Iron Brew sour bar, or at least some kind of Iron Brew tangy, chewy sweets. A little bit fizzy, to be fair, for a beer, but it's got, I say, more kind of Iron Brew about it than a beer anyway. Kind of, there's a little kind of orangey note there as well. Can't imagine they've put much in the way of hops into this, and if they do, maybe it's something like West Coast or something that gives that kind of bergamot stuff. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Good it's gluten free, but no other information on it. Maybe I should have had a look on the on the brew sheet, see if there is one. But as with all the other foods and drinks I was talking about, I'm really prepared on this one. Yeah, so as I remember drinking in the summer, it was, well, I mean, it was a summer evening, so I think the sun had gone down by then. But yeah, it's a proper kind of, it's refreshing in the way that Iron Brew is, because 5 minutes after you drunk it, the sweetness just dries up everything and you're thirsty again. I do that probably to get more sales, but it's definitely a very good recreation of an Iron Brew and therefore super chuggable. I'm not gonna. Orange and blackberry? Does that work? You didn't see nothing, right? I've got to drink it somehow. And as Mr. Wilson pointed out, it's kind of slightly addictive, but I'm just going to top that a little. Fuck. Slauncher. That works. Is it just Buckfast works with fucking everything? Probably going to do it the next one, aren't I? Yes, sorry, it had to be done. It was just there. It's tempting. And it's basically an alco pop, so why not mix it? I mean, yeah, it's basically Buckfast goes with everything, but you can still taste that Iron Brew kind of thing, so why not? Do you know what I mean? Live a little, have fun, whatever, man. Maybe if I don't stand up and go outside after this, I should be okay. I'm not planning to, although I do have to let the cat in, so yeah, I have to still nip in fairly quick. I went too much cold air, and then they're probably back, but it feels good. I normally say I can have a coffee. I used to stumble out the pub at 2 in the morning, stop at a BP garage where all you could get hold of was coffee. So I'd have like usually a mocha, I think. So I'd have coffee and then come home and go straight to sleep. So I always say caffeine doesn't really affect me. Maybe it does here a little bit, but hey, I do it for your entertainment. That's what it is, definitely, and it's for scientific purposes. Just to see does Buckfast go with everything. That's what I'm doing. That's all it is. That's what I'm telling. Oh God, I'm starting to stumble now. I'm starting. You can hear the blarney coming. Oh no, that's a different show, isn't it? I do feel like I've stepped up. I'm on 75% now. See, standing outside all day on the bar, and I mean, I wasn't working hard today, but sometimes it is a little tiring. So I did feel a little tired over dinner. Do you know what I mean? Sitting in a warm, nice, stodgy roast dinner, cup of tea. I was a little bit like, I don't know if I need any beers tonight. But now I'm both absolutely knackered and kind of hot-wired. Do you know what I mean? I feel all right. It's good. I want to get some music going. Do you know what I mean? I want to play those bagpipes now. I don't know if you saw the story on Instagram. I rushed it a little bit, but I did get some bagpipes on that. I can't play it on here, but fantastic band who I think I've seen live called the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Scottish band. I don't actually play any Red Hot Chili Peppers, but they do take a lot of other pop songs and bagpipe them up. They're well, that song by Journey is really, really good. Take a lot of cheese and add some bagpipes, and it's just fun. See also Run Rig. They do a jolly fine show. This is a lot of fun. It does feel a bit alco pop rather than beer. I still don't quite know what it is. I'm guessing it's just a fairly cheap pale ale malt base, maybe a bit of wheat and some whatever the additives are. I'm guessing. I think the Exhale one actually had on the can that it was Iron Brew Extract. Whatever the hell Iron Brew Extract is, it sounds like the one next door to Natural Flavorings. But anyway, the Iron Brew one, the Exhale one, was good. I've got one from Twice Brewed, which isn't Scottish, but it's pretty much within sight of Scotland, seeing it's brewed under Hadrian's Wall. So I could have put that one in, but I thought I'd stick with the Scottish lineup, to be fair, even though I've got Buckfast made in Devon. But there you go. That's just iconic, isn't it? So not really a beer, but it is kind of a beer because it's got all the right constituent ingredients. Obviously, it's been fermented, so interesting one. I'll tell you what this one is for. This beer is for people who don't like sour beers to at least not quite gateway into sours, but it's kind of there or thereabouts, but it's quite sweet and sticky. But it's if you don't want a sour, you can have one of these, and it's kind of got that same vitamin C kind of fruit kind of hit without so much tartness or sourness. And I always said, like, halfway through a session, I don't mind putting a sour in because that vitamin C hit gives it a little spark. Quite a lot of spark off the Wee Buckie, but off this one, it's like if you don't like sours, you can have this one because it's got the fruit content, the sweet content, and just leaves out the kind of sour, just like a slightly edge of tart sourness, maybe, but also orange sherbet. A lot of fun, very drinkable. Absolutely upset the purists and trad beer drinkers, but hey ho, we drink everything on this channel, don't we? Who's anybody drinking along with me, or is it just me drinking on a Sunday night? Because once again, I don't actually have to go to work in the morning. I've got a lot of stuff to do for my day off. Anybody joining us for a beer? Anybody joining us for a Burns Night celebration, such as it is? I was disappointed to realise once again I don't have any Scottish-based brewery T-shirts. I should rectify that. It's been a while Don't I have a dry? No, I should have a Drygate t-shirt. The amount I used to order from Drygate, and I don't really get anything out of Drygate very often these days. I should probably have a wee look. Tell you what, yeah. No, I said earlier, I've probably got some Scottish whiskey in the house, but it will be a minimum of 50 years old, and it will be some very cheap Scottish whiskey, probably a bit mainstream. Somewhere in this house, there's a wee collection of spirit miniatures that I think my granddad used to collect. So it'll only be like White and McKay or something like that, or Bell's probably. I don't think there's anything classic in there. Actually, fucking easy this go. I used to have some in there, but I collected them all together. I think they're in the cabinet next door. But there you go. Yeah, well, I think some of them might be open, but yeah, I have to have a look at them. I know there's a couple in there. I don't think they're particularly like massively valuable. Definitely collectible, maybe, but there's probably a lot of things around here that is. But I'm never going to get around to selling them, anything like that. But yeah, no, I thought there was some in that cabinet there. So we'll stick with a beer. No whiskey for me. I've got some English whiskey over there from London, but that's just not going to quite cut it, is it really? Oh, excuse me. No, we'll stick with a beer. It's as Scottish as whiskey in it at the end of the day. Although neither of these two are particularly, what I would say, typical Scottish beer, perhaps. Haven't, yeah, no worries, Mr. Wilson. Cheers, mate. Yeah, I should have got some like wee heavies in or some 80 shilling or something. But once again, I've heard on the side of not buying beer the last couple of weeks. I've got two beer orders in the basket, 3 in fact. I'll tell a lie, but I was looking around at stuff like I say. I was chatting to Sammy the other day, and I wanted to get some Coopers in for tomorrow, and I didn't in the end, and I kind of regret that now. And I'm sure I could have got some other stuff in. I've also got, from a random shop in Manchester. I can't remember. I was going to ask if anybody heard of them, but they want 15 quid for delivery, and I'm like, I don't know about that. There's some good beers up there, though. It's a random wine shop in Hampton Court that I want to get. I just sort of saw a bunch of random stuff that I'd meant to get elsewhere, and it looked like a good order, but it was another 60 quid. I was like, I'm not sure I need to do that. So I've been really good about not buying beers for the last couple of weeks. It's not been a New Year's resolution or anything to stop buying beers. I've slightly resolved to actually bash the stash and get through more of them to get a bit more space in the beer stash before I start ordering. And even that, say last week, I took an unenforced break because I'm like, I just don't feel like a beer at the minute. And I sort of had other things on. But I'm going to try this week and smash a few out, I think. More for the sake of it, more for my own amusement than anything else, and whether everybody comes and watches. And if you do, great. If you've got a beer on whilst you're tuning in, do let me know in the comments. If you're watching afterwards, do let me know that you've watched it afterwards. Hopper did the other day, to his credit, fair play, because I mentioned him in the stream because I was doing the Welsh beers. And to be fair, Hopper popped in and gave me a comment afterwards. So it is possible, it does happen. So massive thanks to Hopper Beer Reviews. I didn't put a link in that. I'd have to go and put a link in that onto Hopper's if you haven't seen Hopper already. Very AI heavy, but in a good way, in a very good way generally, and some kind of some funny stuff. Bear with me a second. Just got to do this. Yeah, Hopper doesn't filter out his belches and bodily noises, but I do. Mostly because it's the old nose that just blocks up as soon as I hit the live button. Anyway, so 4.5%. fierce beer up in Aberdeen. Iron Brew beer cooler series, they call it. But also a little bit of maybe if Haribo did Iron Brew sweets, and I'm sure they probably do, but I'm sure there's others that do as well. Very carbonated, very fizzy, but very alco pop, which is fine. I don't mind that. It's a bit of fun. And after all, when we're drinking, that's what it's for. Not too serious. You know, I don't take myself too seriously. I take the beer seriously. And some would say this is not a beer, but it's got all the constituent parts, even though they don't tell us what it is. So, yeah, it's good enough. It's a lot of fun. Pop it in halfway through a session. It's all good. Cheers. And with that, because we're approaching the hour mark, I don't want to take up too much of your time on a Sunday night, Burns night supper. I say no food. I'm the supper, as in I'm supping the beers and also smashing them down in some parts. But yeah, let's do the traditional move and head to, which is the right one. Got two of them. Beer number 3, please. So beer number 3, probably the lesser known of the 3 breweries tonight, 4 I suppose. They're called Holy Goat. They don't help themselves by not quite getting the can dimensions right with the thing. You have to turn it around to say Holy Goat. And as it says down the bottom, they don't bother with beer names. They just tell you what the beer's about, which I kind of like. I don't mind. It makes it difficult for hashtags on Instagram, but because I always hashtag the beer names so people can find them again. Not that Instagram make that easy. But yeah, it's a Damson Porter. I tried their plum porter recently somewhere along the line, and if I can remember, I'll put a link to that in that live particularly. But love a porter, as you know, very much my thing. Just going to have to palate cleanse before I do it. And I don't mind some fruit additives. It's hardly part of your 5 a day, any of these, but there's a heavy fruit note going about tonight. Talking to Adam at Mersey Beers, may or may not do some kind of 5 a day beer stream with fruit additive beers. We've been talking about it, just kind of find the time really. So yeah, I guess there's a bunch of damsons or plums maybe in this beer, but let's get out into a glass. Oh no, let's change the banner first of all. Always remind me to change the banner because I'm terrible and likely to forget. So yeah, black cans. It's a bit dented as well. I think I picked this one up from House of Trembling Madness, I believe. Oof. Again, this has been sitting for a couple of months trying to find just the right stream. I was thinking of saving it for that fruit-based beer stream. But it also fits in the Scottish brewery stream for Burns night. So, kind of expecting good things. I've had a couple of Holy Goat beers. Strong on the artwork, apart from that can design, but have a fair amount of strong sounding beers. Move them out of the way temporarily whilst I know we haven't got Mr. Wilson to remind me. I will remember to do the can balance. You can go and watch it afterwards. Bear with me whilst I step off camera just to do the can balance photograph. And we'll be putting the screen down so hopefully I don't cut you off. So, there's the previous one. Let's get this one in. Oh no. Despite having light problems, I want to get that one a bit more in the light. I see. Doing it on the angle doesn't help either particularly. To get all of the name in. No, yeah. Big criticism there for me. I'm taking beer photographs. I want to be able to see the beer. I mean, the branding is so strong, I know what beer it is. But just for like Instagram purposes, I want everybody else to see what beer it is I'm drinking. So I'd like them to maybe make that circle slightly smaller so you can see all of the writing in a photograph. It's almost like you don't want me to Instagram your beers if you do that. Yeah, it's not a moan, it's a mild criticism. But it's their brewery, they can do what they like, I suppose. So it's going into the McColl's brewery glass. Closest brewery glass where I've got to Scotland. Yeah, it's a bit fuzzy and out of it's a little bit fuzzy, but so am I at the moment after doing all that Buckfast. See if I do it with this one as well. Let's get them back in the picture. Let's have too many on there. Gets a bit crowded in here. Let's do that. Give ourselves a bit more space. Why not? Why don't you? There you go. Yes. For the newcomers who've just joined us, that is a bottle of Buckfast tonic wine. Not Scottish, but very much a Scottish national drink. To go along with that Wee Buckie, the Vault City interpretation of Buckfast. Anyway, so a Damson Porter, lovely, nice and dark in the glasses. Any red tinges around there? Nope, not really, but fantastic, smooth head development there that seems to be sticking around. Let's have a little sniff, see if I can get some fruits. No fruits with my blocked up nose, but a certain kind of mid roastiness. Yes, it's there or thereabouts. Cheers and slauncher. Oh, there we go. After the madness and fun of these two, this is a much more serious tasting beer. It brings it back to actual proper beer. Very distinctly a porter. A very roasted porter. It's got some good roasted malt notes, edges of coffee, little bit of chocolate. Very much there. A very subtle fruit note, I think. A lot of plum porters I found, and at some point I want to collect them all together and do them all in one big show, but never seem to have them all in at the same time. But a lot of plum porters, and Damson kind of fits against that, is like it's got that kind of slightly earthy edge rather than the fruitiness. This one has got that slight earthy edge, but it sort of draws it all together. It's that earthiness of plums sometimes, or Damsons more specifically, I think, have got a more slightly earthy note. It still feels like a little bit of blackcurrant in there, a blackberry in there as well. Kind of slight hedgerow note that might be just coming through from the other stuff I've drunk. But yeah, a very nice roasty. There's hints of bourbon biscuits in there, and I was personally think a porter should have that kind of bourbon biscuit note, that balance between coffee and chocolate, slight coffee crema, slight cream note. And Holy Goat have absolutely nailed it. It's a very, very good porter. I wouldn't say the best porter because that Damson note, I really want to like it, but there's a kind of slightly earthy overtone that kind of just draws away from that roasted porter note. It's really interesting, and again, I think that's my palate. I'm not saying it's a bad beer for that, but it's a very, very good porter. Yeah, lots of little chocolate notes developing in there now as well. That kind of earthy fruit background, sort of dark fruits. Again, it's more sort of generic dark fruit based around plum and damson and stuff like that. Yeah, it's got that kind of old country pub feel, sitting, on an autumn or winter's evening, sitting in front of the fire, reading a newspaper, just sipping a nice roasty porter, giving it some warmth. Looking out maybe across the moors or across the rolling hills and seeing a bit of snow driving in and just thinking cozy, snug. I did say I wasn't going to do any poetry, and that was about as close as I want to get as poetry for Burns Night. It's not Scottish poetry, it's mine. I think that's just the Buckie kicking in some kind of creativity notes. I should get a lot done tonight. Really should. But yeah, no, this is a really nice porter. It's got all those right notes in there, and it does sum up that kind of a serious beer, kind of comforting, warming slightly. Well on you, Mr. Wilson. I was contemplating. I just gone off on a tangent of poetry of how this is a fantastic porter. All the right notes, bourbon biscuits, nice balance, but a slight earthy kind of fruit edge. It's got that kind of sort of be a romantic poetry kind of sitting in an old country pub, looking out across the scenery and just cozy vibes, just chilling on a Sunday afternoon. All right then, Mr. Wilson, you don't want to hear poetry, do you? Let's do the mix then. Because it's got that earthy kind of slight blackberry note to it. I think this will take that towards what it slightly lacks in dark fruit note. I wanted more dark fruit, and all I'm getting is bourbon biscuit, which I'm not necessarily against. What I seem to have got is a baby Guinness there almost. Take it there. Yeah, I don't know if Holy Goat are happy with my assessment of a proper stout and a bit more kind of seriousness of their beer. They are quite serious, I think, in a lot of the beers they come out. I don't know if they want to be me fucking around mixing it with Buckfast, but I don't know if Fierce or Vault City would as well. But it is what it is, and it's come up a nice kind of see the head development and the head retention on that has stayed in there, even though I've polluted it or diluted it rather with Buckfast. Anyway, Slauncher, happy birthday! All this will be my last shot. I didn't mean to do this when I bought the bottle of Buckfast. I'm just going to have a wee dram. But cheers. Buckfast goes with anything. So whatever the caffeine is in Buckfast just enhances those bourbon biscuit notes. Absolutely liquid coffee creme bourbon biscuit notes. Not so much coffee, but more the creamy notes. And swerves what is an otherwise excellent porter much closer to that kind of dark fruit note that it suggests with the Damson. I'm not saying this is bad by any means, but for me, it doesn't quite pull up those Damson notes that I'm kind of expecting, except for that slightly sort of earthy, bittery, dark fruit edge. I'm guessing it's like the tannins in the Damson kind of skins that go through into the fruit as well a little bit to kind of bring it out like that. Cheers. So next live, need to do these to those bits. Just every peer review for the rest of the year, I need to shot it with some Buckfast. I'm not sure. Well, now I've got a Buckfast supplier, Pat's off license, South Arrow. And cheers to Brandon, my mate Brandon, for shouting it out actually, because I was talking to him about it the other day on Saturday, and he said, "Go to Pat's. Pat's will have it." I couldn't think of where to get it from around here. Google was no good. ChatGPT was no good. It's sort of unlisted. But Brandon said, "Yeah, go to Pat's. Pat's is an off license." We used to go to when we were 18, officer. You know what I'm saying? And we used to get all sorts of randoms. In fact, Pat's was where the first place I had VB in Melbourne Bitter back in the day. I was chatting to Sammy about that the other day. So we used to get, I mean, looking at it now and looking at it then, it wasn't that great. You're not getting craft beer at Pat's off license. You're getting your mainstream, cheapest chip slot. But yeah, so I have got a Buckfast supplier now. In the same way that I've got a Dragon Soup supplier down the road. I wonder, he probably stocks Dragon Soup. Can't believe I never thought to go in there, but I haven't actually been to Pat's for 25 years. But I will go back, bless them. It's just a South Harrow institution, really, like Mad Fred and the market. As they probably telling you that. See, I'm talking overdrive now, I'm talking no sense. But yeah, I was planning to do quite a few beers this week, and you know what? Now I've put that across the palette. Now I can get the Damsons a bit more in here. Weirdly, no. But the main thing for me about this one was the chocolate and slight coffee, the creamy kind of note. Let's have a quick look for completeness. I'm not looking on the websites of these. I think I've done all of these websites before. Certainly not going to do the Vault City one because there'll be far too much that I have to ignore. Okay, a good list of ingredients: barley, oats, rye. Okay, now I can see the rye. That's got that kind of, again, that earthy, slightly outer edge. It just says plums. I know Damsons are a type of plum, aren't they? There's various different plums. Although in France they call them prunes, apparently, according to the translation. It doesn't say the hop note, but yeah. Holy Goater in Dundee. Best before. October 2027. No bother. Could have waited on that one. I could even have left it till next Burns night. I could even have left it till St Andrew's Day this year, but no, I did it now with plenty of other beers to get onto. Export porter brewed with a mixture. Hang on, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, I see. Export porter brewed with a mixture dark crystal, should be of dark crystal, crystal rye, amber malts, and conditioned on British Damson plums. Oh, fair play. Yeah, no, I'm glad they put on that. They don't say the hops, but I doubt there's that many. I'm guessing it's got to be like Bramlin Cross or something, really, isn't it? There you go. Yeah, so a super solid beer for me. Yeah, just do the one bottle till it's gone. I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't lined up anything for tomorrow. I'm going to have to think about tomorrow morning. I might try and do something Tuesday. I'm going to have Wednesday off because I hopefully get that video out. I've got a big one Thursday if it works out. Then we're into the weekend again. Next whiskey is a cheeky 58.6%. Well, don't be shotting that one and mixing it with any random beers. Cheers. Oh, bear with me just 1 second. I think I got up a little bit too quickly there, but there we go. Oh, yeah, I feel like I'm buzzing a bit with all that Buckfast. I've only had, 4 shots of it. I don't know. Should I do that video? Is it worth it? Would it be fun? What do you reckon? Or should I just leave this as a record of drinking Buckfast? I don't think I need to do any more Buckfast, to be honest. I think that would be madness. So yeah, I'm not going to do a video. I'm just going to sit and finish these 2 off. I'll go back for that one for the Wee Buckie, and that'll do. And then I'll work out. I wonder how long it. I mean, it can't go off at 15%, but does it go flat or weird, or does it go off if you leave it open for too long? I'll bung it in the fridge. But yeah, what a fun night of Scottish beers. It's always fun on Scottish beers, isn't it? Especially when you bung the Buckfast involved. So yeah, I've had a good night. Enjoyed the beers. I'm gonna tap out there, not for any drunkenness reasons. I'm just buzzing. I'm gonna think about whether I do that Buckie video. So I do a separate Buckie review. Not sure. Let's have a little think about that. Also, I need a Waz, so having bunged out three beers and some shots. Oh, thank you, Mr. Wilson. Cheers, sir. Cheers. Yeah, we'll catch you on stream again soon. That's been my Burns night supper. I am the supper. This is the beer. That's been my Burns night. 3 fantastic beers in different reasons, different ways, all mixed with Buckfast. If you're watching after the event, go back and watch the mixes of that, and I'll see if I can maybe clip some or something like that. But yeah, Slauncher, cheers and enjoy the rest of your Burns night, whatever you're doing, whether you're doing a poetry, haggis, or whatever. I might still nip up Weatherspoons and do the haggis, neats, and tatties deal at some point. Being a day off tomorrow, I could do that. There's some good beers on, but yeah. Cheers. Thanks everybody for say that's kicking in. The Buckfast kicking in now. I'm sort of right. So it's been a good night, as you can tell. If you've enjoyed it as much as Mr. Wilson has, as much as I have, please click like and subscribe down there, especially if you're watching after the event. Drop a comment as well how your Burns night went. Big shout out to the Lagerlogs and Stuart, by the way. Hope you're having a good one. And enjoy your hangovers in the morning. If you're punching the Burns night candle long into the night, I'm going to sleep well tonight for sure, even with all that caffeine, because caffeine don't affect me. I'll be fine. Grand. Cheers. Bye. I'm only padding until I can find the outro. Cheers and enjoy the beers. All I've been disco beer reviews from in front of the cans of balls here. Well, I'm still jokingly calling the Disco Arms. Cheers, Slauncher. Have a great week. See you again tomorrow, hopefully, maybe, or any other time coming up next live beer reviews. Or over on Instagram, go follow us on there if you can. That'd be lovely. Yeah, and I'm still padding whilst I find out the outro because it's buried deep down here somewhere. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers. Goodbye. Good night, all. Happy Burns night. Slauncher.